Bowl champ Greg Jennings. Good morning, Greg.
It's been a long time, bro.
Welcome.
Good to see you, man.
Have we not seen you this football season yet?
No, we've seen him this football season, but it's just been a while.
That is the worst thing I could have said. I was just trying to be part of the conversation, and now I take it back. I just want to be against the conversation.
Let's do it again. Good to see you, brother.
It is great to have you back.
What's that? And say she having a CTE moment.
Great having you here throughout the football season, which is when you've been here. Let's talk some Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, Greg, quickly before I say other things. In Detroit, they were to face the Lions, and Dak was outstanding in this one. Dak Prescott throwing for 444 yards, 3 touchdowns. Get this, he now leads the NFL in passing yards on the season. He also helped the Cowboys get the win in a pivotal NFC matchup. Here's Ezekiel Elliott talking about his quarterback after the game.
Dak's playing the best football I've ever seen him play. It's definitely took his game to a next level. Just the things he's been able to do. Something's clicking there. He's throwing out the ball, and I mean, we got a bunch of
something is definitely clicking.
And it's hard for the defense to stop him. So keep that thing rolling.
Can anyone, Nick, beat the Cowboys when Dak plays like this?
Well, yeah, the Lions damn near
here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Actually, didn't Dak play like this last week, too?
Dak was sensational last week. And so, listen, these to me are two different conversations. One is Dak Prescott taking his game to a level I did not think was within him. Coming into this season, he had 5 career games of 300 yards passing. Only 2 career games of 350 yards passing. This year, he's got a 397, a 405, a 444, and a 463. He's 3 yards away from having 4 400-yard games. They've only played 10. So, like, Dak had to play this well yesterday, though, because the defense wasn't very good, Greg. Zeke had what I believe to be the worst back-to-back games of his career. Like, from his ineffectiveness last week that led to the loss to the fumble early in this game and ineffectiveness this week. So what the story last night was, when Dak plays this well, the Cowboys are unbeatable. To me, the story was Dak had to play an A-level game or the Cowboys would have gotten beat, and he did it. And credit to him, because I have been a skeptic of Dak Prescott for the last 2.5 years.
Hater.
And this year, at nearly every turn, he's been proving me wrong.
That's what's a little frightening if I'm the Dallas Cowboys. The fact that Dak Prescott is playing the way he is every showing, and the question being, can the Cowboys be beat, or who can beat the Cowboys? Well, they can beat themselves. The Minnesota Vikings beat them last week.
And he played this way.
And he played excellent. He played pretty good against the Green Bay Packers, throwing the 3 interceptions, but he threw over 400 yards, and the Green Bay Packers beat him. So when you're talking about the elites of the elites in the NFC, we're not even getting to the AFC. The Dallas Cowboys can be beat, and they do it by beating themselves. When you look at this defense, they have all the talent across the board, but it seems like they can't put it together. They can't stop guys. They can't stop opposing opponents' offenses when they need to. When their offense is putting up points, their defense turns around and they allowed another offense to put up points as well. You mentioned it, Ezekiel Elliott just has not been what we've seen him to be in the past in the running game. The one thing that I have noticed is that when they pass the ball the way that they've been passing the ball, Jason Witten, he's not getting a lot of targets, but he's a huge part of why they're having the success, because they can bring in that 11 personnel, that 1 tight end set. He can stay in and protect, and they have 6, 7 guys blocking and protection, which we've seen them struggle with pass pro in the past with Dak Prescott. This year, they're protecting him, and he's able to run and have those guys on the perimeter, and Michael Gallup and Randall Cobb and all those guys are making plays.
No, there were big days by Michael Gallup and Randall Cobb, both receivers going over 100 yards. But I think you hit the nail on the head when you brought up the defense. You let the Jeff Driscoll-led Lions offense put up 27 points on you. Dallas Cowboys allowed that offense to be 3 for 3 in the red zone and 6 of 13 on third down. So you allowed them to sustain drives with a backup quarterback. That part of it for me is inexcusable. But Jenna, to answer your question, yeah, Dak Prescott playing that way is going to give you a chance, but he's been playing that way the last 4 games. I mean, the Cowboys have won 3 of their last 4, and Dak has accounted for 10 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. interceptions. So if your quarterback is accounting for multiple touchdowns, you're always going to have a chance. But for me, it's about the Dallas Cowboys starting slow. I mean, this is the seventh game that they've given up the first points in the game. So, I mean, last week we saw them go down to the Minnesota Vikings by 14 points. I mean, when you're going up against better competition, you can't afford to start slow. You don't have that same margin for error. When we've seen it with the Dallas Cowboys, whether it's the Green Bay Packers, whether it's the Minnesota Vikings, when they get behind early, it's going to be tough for them to come back in those games. So for me, that's the thing that Jason Garrett has got to figure out. How can I get this team to start faster?
Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was going to say, you mentioned something about Dak Prescott and you not expecting him to play like this. I don't think any of us saw this. I felt like he was going to have a good year because of the pieces that they had placed around him. But it's this offense, it's all about Dak Prescott. Where we once were saying it's a run-first offense, all about Ezekiel Elliott, it is no longer that. This is Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott, could you imagine the Dallas Cowboys if Dak Prescott was not playing like this?
No, they'd be cooked.
They wouldn't even be in playoff contention right now.
And this is, if you were to tell me Dak was going to have a spectacular season,
I did.
What I would have thought what that means is statistically, he's giving you about 230 yards per game passing, but he's not turning the ball over at all.
4,000.
He's making a few big plays with his legs. He's doing what he did his rookie season, just on a higher level. But that's not it at all. The only thing Dak's done poorly this year is he is turning the ball over. He has made up for it because his deep downfield passing has been trumped this year. I can't believe I'm saying this, but only by Patrick Mahomes.
That's right.
Dak Prescott is averaging 321 yards per game.
Go ahead.
That is second
Eat some crow, man. Eat some crow.
To me, a very important quarterback stat. Yards per attempt. Because it gives you an idea. Are you dinking and dunking? Are you taking things downfield?
I mentioned this. Yes.
He's at 8.8 yards per attempt. A super elite number. Second in the league. Only 2. Patrick Mahomes. Like, it is the reason he doesn't have the full Mahomes statistical profile this year is he has 9 interceptions. I think Mahomes has 1. But I can't believe I'm saying these things, but I have to be fair. And even if I didn't see it coming, Dak is becoming a don't worry, get on my back, I got it type of quarterback, which I didn't think was in the cards for him or this team this year.
Because coming into the season, all we talked about how it is a pass-happy league now. We are changing, except for the Dallas Cowboys, who are still going to run their offense through Ezekiel Elliott, who they paid, who we all thought that if Zeke has a good game, they're going to keep winning.
Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get, we're already open for business. And the football guys are already awake, man, because it's been Victory Monday. Thank God. You know what? It's funny today. It is so freaking funny. I got to tell you, I love it because I hate to tell you this, but I think the Eagle fans are soft. I'm serious. They act tough. You know, when they're front running, they're dogging the hell out. You notice the chat's kind of down low today? You notice it's kind of low today. There's not big numbers. You know why? Because all of those damn Eagle fans have tucked their tail and run ahead. They are cockroaches that are now hiding. And you know what is so funny? It is so freaking funny to me. Because today I decided to have a little bit of fun. Because for me, as you guys know, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, my story of growing up about football is literally the greatest enjoyment was seeing my dad versus the Redskin fans. My dad, who was a Dallas Cowboys fan and everything else. When the Cowboys won, he was giving them the crap. When the Cowboys lost, they were giving him the crap. And, it was just something therapeutical about that, So see, like my boy Philly 500, Philly and I, we're like brothers. We've never actually met, but we are like brothers and family. And I tell him, man, you're just like, the white chocolate version of me. Okay, he's a little round, pudgy like me, round face and everything else. He's got the beard and things, and he's like family. But believe me, I've been giving him crap. So today on Instagram, I did a couple of memes, because you know how all the YouTubers out there, Lord Brunson or Brunson Burner or burned up something or other, whoever he is, you know he's always calling my name, Mark Holmes, Mark Holmes, Mark Holmes, Mark Holmes. You know we had Cold Piss who was always talking about, you know, YouTubers that are overrated. Overrated. Mark Holmes this, Mark Holmes that. Beg Mark Holmes and make me a sandwich, boy. You know, that guy. Those people. So I did a couple of memes. I put one that really wasn't a bad one. It was Nick Foles, his hands up in the air, and it said, "Hey, Eagle fans, do you miss me now?" And I got a comment that said to me, "You got no class. How dare you? How dare you do it? I thought you had more class than that." And I was like, really? Really? The things that those trolls have said to me on this chat, where I literally have to put keywords in here so that way, you know, the younger people, the lovely ladies that come in the house, you know, so that way they don't get subjugated to all that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mention all of the videos that I am literally on where I'm getting trolled, where they're taking clips. Because, see, I ended up doing like this one video because I was going back through my boy Philly 500, and you know I'm riding him, I'm riding the hell out of Philly 500. Okay, but you know it's nothing personal. It's only business, man. It's business, because you can best believe had the Eagles beat us in the last year and a half or two, that they be riding me, because you know what? They're still riding, because their only comeback is now, yeah, well, you haven't won a Super Bowl in 25 years. Yeah, well, how many years did it take you to finally win your first one, Eagle fans? Your first one. Yeah. So I hate to say it, but Eagle fans are soft. Now, I don't know how the season went. For all we know, the Eagles could turn it around, and Carson Wentz could end up being that MVP quarterback that they keep talking about. You know, that Eagle team that is so loaded. That Eagle team that seems like they're always trying to grab some player and bring him in because they didn't seem to bring in the right talent. You know? And it's so funny because as I've heard people trash my quarterback, Dak Prescott, on a regular basis, even now, we got the you know who I'm talking about on Facebook. The ass, excuse my language, Joseph, forgive me, but I'm going to say ass clown, because that's what he is. Even after we have games like we're having now with Dak Prescott, where he's gotten 3 400-yard games in 10 games and was only 3 yards away from having 4, even though he's already got 21 touchdowns, 3,221 yards, and hitting 444 yards yesterday, where he is literally now putting the Dallas Cowboys on his back. They still don't like him for whatever reason. They trash him. But now, oh my goodness, poor Carson Wentz, they're so mean to him. Why are they so mean to him? Hey, you got to man up. You got to be a grown-ass man. Mark, Mark, you failed to mention that I have allowed Dak to take a step further and execute. No. Jason Garrett, you didn't allow Jack. I see your game. I know you coming in trying to rile me up and everything else. You know what? Dak took that bull by the horns, and he said, you know what? I'm a grown-ass man. I'm going to take it. I'm going to lead this team. This team is mine. Because the thing you have to understand about Dak Prescott, Jason Garrett, is everywhere he goes, he has always been doubted. He was never the top draft pick. He was never the guy that you looked at and said, man, that's a great quarterback right there. Nobody ever thought much about him. That was in high school. That was in college. And Lord knows that was in the draft as well. And still now, you hear idiots like Nick Wright who were saying things like, I can't believe it. You know who believed it? I believed it. I believed it from day one, from the first time that I saw Dak Prescott. And I got to think, you know, I lost my other channel. And I had so many videos on there that I wish I still had. But fortunately, somebody actually stole one of my videos. Yeah. And I'm glad that they stole this one because this way this video still lives on. And this was because I got people that are saying, oh, well, you're on the Dak Prescott bandwagon now, right? No, you buddy, I was the Dak Prescott bandwagon. I was the only one who was on the Dak Prescott bandwagon. This shirt right here, Power of 4. Some of you people that are new to the channel, I talked about Dak Prescott in the 4th year. And I said, you watch. Dak Prescott will have a monster year. It is the power of 4. 4th round draft pick. He's got that tattoo. Now, he says it's to remind him of his mom's birthday, but I think he actually wears that as a red badge of honor to remind him every day that people doubted him. He was a 4th round draft pick. Even the Cowboys passed on him 3 times. To remind him every day that I got to prove something, that I got a chip on my shoulder. His mother's birthday, the number 4 that he wears, and his 4th year. And I told you guys, quarterbacks, generally speaking, blow up in their 4th year. Looks like Carson Wentz is kind of blowing up in the wrong way, as well as Jared Goff is blowing up in the wrong way as well. I told you guys. That's where we took that Power 4 shirt. We sent it around. A lot of you signed it, and we gave it to Dak Prescott. I am told that he has that mounted, framed up in his house. So when they tell you that nobody saw this coming, I'm going to tell you I did. We have a Jason Garrett, what? Why you bothering me? Why are you bothering me, Jason Garrett? We have a hell of a good players. We are ready for the next game, and we can proceed next game. I'll get to the next game, okay? Now shut up, Jason. Jason Garrett, you know what you can do, Jason Garrett? Jason Garrett, do you know what you can do for me right now? You can. Thank you very much. Sit your ass down, man. Sit your ass down. So, I just want to bring up just this little tad bit. Now this is kind of rough because this was about 4 years ago. Oh, no sound. Oh. 230 pounds, although he needs some time to sit on the bench, and it might be a good place to put him with the Dallas Cowboys. He's responsible for over 110 touchdowns in his college career. Now let's go look at some of the highlights and see what NFL Network has to say about it. That was me.
Ball up 10-3. Mississippi State's Dak Prescott finds Southeast Missouri State's Paul McRoberts. Gain of 14 and a first down. Those two not done. 3 plays later, 25 seconds left in the half.
Hey, Prescott, though, what doing now? He feeling it.
The game's most outstanding player, Dak Prescott, 7 of 10, 61 yards.
Wobble on him.
That's my quarterback.
Dak Prescott.
That's my teammate.
Is a guy that, and I liken him a little bit too. I don't think he's ready now to play in this league, but I think that with what he has, you pull the Tyrod Taylor where you give him some years of seasoning and then give him his shot. And I believe, because he's won a lot of football games, in the most difficult conference to play in, I think, still in this country, in the SEC. And so I think that a little more seasoning with Dak Prescott and a couple of years, this could be, a guy that makes that play style.
Providing that he can make plays in the pocket. And everything we saw from him at Mississippi State, he can do that. I think this league is really going towards a defense, or a team, I should say, or league, where the defenses are athletic. They can get after the quarterback. So you need quarterbacks who can move, who can extend and buy time. Yeah, you got to be able to make plays from the pocket, but you better have some athleticism to your game. And that's where Dak Prescott, I think, really fits in. He's got to prove he can make plays from the pocket at the NFL level, but that athleticism will bode well, providing he can do the other thing.
That was my quarterback. That's what I'd said about him before the draft. So, to me, it's no surprise that Dak Prescott has been everything that you want and more. And I am glad to say he's our quarterback. I don't care what these haters out there have to say about it. And I see a bunch of people asking if we can call in. we might take a few calls here in a little bit, but just let me get on a roll here, okay? Because see, I've had all this pent up inside of me. I've had so many of these damn trolls that have just been talking smack and telling me I'm an idiot, you know. Especially early last year, they were saying, you know, they were trying to get me to go ahead and turn on them and say, just admit it, that Dak Prescott sucks. Admit it, that he is a nobody. He's garbage. He doesn't have that ceiling. He can't even carry Carson Wentz's jockstrap. You remember that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. In case you guys haven't realized it, this team has evolved. I don't know what's going on with Zeke Elliott. I wish I knew what was going on with Zeke Elliott. I wish I knew that Zeke Elliott was going to be back to eating the way he was eating before. But right now, he ain't eating. The last 2 games, he does not have 100 yards. Nobody believes in me but understands how I motivate this team. Okay. How you doing, Sandra? Welcome to the show. And please, guys, don't chase the nice women away. Kathy Green, how you doing? Mark, you and me saw some. Oh my God! And Dak got back. Somebody had said that. I can't remember. Zeke is fat. I don't know if it was Zeke missing training camp because you can't just get into football shape. But there's a lot of things going. Okay, let me make this perfectly clear. Not all of this is Zeke. I'm telling you that part of this is we do not have the blocking like we had before. They are not being able to run block as well as they used to. Tyron Smith, of course, is always dealing with the back, and now he's got the ankle. These guys have gotten older. They're doing great pass block or doing better pass blocking. But run blocking isn't there like it used to be. And understand that Zeke Elliott is not this east-west guy that picks a hole. Zeke Elliott is a guy right now that gets ahead of speed and then can make his moves. Frank Wilson, thank you very much for that super chat. Cowboys are 6-4 with all 6 wins against under 500. Well, the Eagles are at 500 right now, and they were 5-4. You know what? At the moment, Frank, Fail Wilson, New England only has one game against the team with the winning record. That's Buffalo. That's it. That's it. In fact, I tell you what, because see, this is the kind of bull crap that gets me ticked off. But I appreciate the super chat though. Anytime you want to tell me I'm an idiot and pay me when you do it, I'm okay with that. But understand, let's go here real quick, because this is the kind of stuff that doesn't make any sense. Okay. Because now let's talk about the Detroit Lions, too, and I'll get to that. Let's go to this real quick because, see, I don't want you. I want you to at least get the facts. If you're gonna go ahead and come in here, if you're gonna come in here and tell me I'm an idiot or tell me my team sucks, make sure you have your stuff together because I'm gonna call you on it. So now, I want to go through the schedule here of New England's. Okay. New England beat the Steelers, right? Right? Let me change cameras over here so it'll be better. They beat the Steelers. They kicked the Steelers' ass 33-3. That's a great win. Great win. Then they played the Dolphins, and they beat them 43-0. Okay? Although the Dolphins have played a little bit better lately. And from there, they played the Jets. Now, I know the Jets did beat us. I get that. But, everybody gets up for the Dallas Cowboys. They only got a touchdown from their defense. They only scored 9 points with their offense against the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Redskins, but right now the Redskins have had 1 touchdown in the last 4 games. L4G, what's up, man? How you doing? They beat the Giants, but who doesn't beat the Giants? And then they played the Jets again. And then they played the Cleveland Doo-Doo Browns. And then they got their lunch handed to them by the Ravens. And even the Eagles they only scored 17 points against the Eagles' defense, which stinks. It stinks. And when you want to talk about something, in the last 7 games, Tom Brady only has 7 TDs and 5 interceptions. With this schedule, that's not playing the Baltimore Ravens. We're talking about Tom Brady has, let me go back through this again. The last 7 games, he has one touchdown per game against the Redskins, the Giants, the Jets, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Eagles. That's what he's averaging. Is anybody talking about they only have 1 win against the team with the winning record? I'm sorry, 2 games? Anybody? Anybody. And let's go back here with the Lions as well. You got to understand something about me, too. In case you guys don't know it, I love to argue. I love to debate. And if you think you're going to beat me, My wife once said I could talk to a brick wall. Okay. Let's real quick. I know the Lions are not a good team, and they didn't have Matthew Stafford. I get that and all that. But still, this Lions team, they tied with Arizona, which is actually playing a little bit better. They beat the Chargers. They went into Philadelphia and beat them 27-24. So any of you Eagle fans that are man enough to come out, you know that that Detroit Lion team, along with the Atlanta Falcons, kicked your ass. They went toe-to-toe with Kansas City, 34-30. They went toe-to-toe with Green Bay, 23-22. They scored 30 against the Vikings. Vikings got 42. And they beat the Giants. And they went toe-to-toe with the Raiders, 24-31. And they almost beat the Bears, but then again, who hasn't? So they're a bad team, but they're not exactly the worst team. It's not like you're playing the Miami Dolphins, although the Dolphins are playing better. All right, okay. It's not like playing the Redskins. How about that? Okay? So next, who's next? Who's next to get a foot in their butt? You should do your best. Now here, Angel, here's the thing. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Change is difficult. Kathy, my concern is the defense too, and this is where this will make sense, I hope. Change is difficult. It took us forever to realize that we needed a balanced attack with Tony Romo. Tony Romo was incredible quarterback, able to buy time and make plays. He was a gunslinger. And by that, when you're a gunslinger, sometimes you miss, sometimes you hit. Every time you'd have get away from J.J. Watt and hit a Terrence Williams, you'd also have times where you'd hit Bobby Carpenter twice in a game. That would be games that you lost. And, of course, Tony Romo had issues with staying healthy later in his career. So you realize that we need a running game to take some pressure off our quarterback. You follow me? We need to be able to keep him upright because without Tony Romo, we couldn't win. Now, you got a quarterback who stays upright, who doesn't have the oh-no's very often, who is a guy who in the end can get you there, that last drive, and get you that score. So the dynamics have changed a little bit there. I'm not saying don't use Zeke Elliott and just say bombs away past 70% of the time. Not at all. But what you have to do is you have 3 stallions right now. I'm going to get to the defense, Smith. Don't worry about it. Just hold up. This is going to make sense once I get – just give me a chance, buddy. Give me a chance. The other thing that running the football was doing was keeping our defense off the field, which was a great philosophy. Slow the clock down, make it easier for your defense. But here's the reality. Our defense has some studs right now, pass rushers. Right now, Robert Quinn having 8.5 sacks in 8 games, a sack a game. That dude is money in the bank. Michael Bennett right now has only been on our team for 3 games, got 8 tackles. 3 sacks. 3 sacks. D-Law, well, only 4.5 sacks. Malik Collins, he's got 3 sacks. Our problem is stopping the run, and teams are running down our throat. You know how you slow teams down from running the football? You score a lot of points. You have the ability to be a quick strike offense. The great thing, if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan and you look at this, don't look at this as, oh my God, Zeke Elliott was garbage yesterday. Zeke Elliott couldn't run at all. Yeah. Do you expect him to be like that every game? I don't. The fact that Amari Cooper was nicked up and you had Michael Gallup step up for 149 yards and you had Randall Cobb able to take the load? You remember when we lost Dez Bryant? How bad a shape the team was without Dez? We didn't skip a beat. We didn't have our running back do anything. We didn't have our number one wide receiver do anything, and we still threw for 444 yards. That means all of these guys can carry the load. That means you have anybody on this team can step up and win you the game, which means you need to start using them. And instead of trying to slow down the clock, you want to go down there and score like that. You want to get out to that 14-0 lead. You want to make those other teams say, shit, excuse my language, we need to keep up with these guys. We can't slow the game down running the football. We got to pass. And once you get that other team having to pass, then all your pass rushers got to do is realize we're pinning our ears back, and you're going to get, you're going to get Michael Bennett coming up the middle there. You're going to get Antoine Woods coming up the middle. You're going to get D-Law coming around the outside. And he's getting close. He's so close. Every time he's close. And then you're going to get Robert Quinn, who can bend that corner, and literally just kind of just turn on a dime coming around getting that quarterback. That's where your defense will start making plays. In the passing game. I hate it too, Cowboys for Life, Robinson, that we start out slow, that we just cannot seem to get going. Did you see Sean Lee? He's too slow. Well, yeah, but Kathy, I tell you what, though, I'm concerned and wondering how bad is Vander Esch's neck, because Vander Esch seems like he's taking bad angles now, and he's missing a lot of tackles. Tackles that he made last year that would be, right there or, push the guy back a yard or two. Now it seems like guys are able to cut, to the left and the right of him and actually get past him a lot, where Jalen Smith or somebody else is cleaning him up. And so, yeah, I know Sean Lee is not exactly real fast, but, he still has that nose for the football. But this is where we just got to exploit the fact that we can score a lot of points. We know our offense can move the ball. We now have to use it. And we have to stop being hamstrung and saying, you know what, we're not going to open up the playbook. We're just going to be conservative and run Zeke. No, throw that crap out the window and just get it on. We would have won that game against Minnesota had we not tried to run the ball when we couldn't run the ball all night. That's a fact. That changed the momentum. It got people questioning what we are doing, and it got out of the rhythm. You see Dak Prescott. Dak right now is hitting things left and right. He is right now freaking amazing. And I couldn't be any happier with where he is right now with what he's doing on the field. Some of the throws that he's making are like a 10-year vet. Fake, rolling, and what you guys are seeing and witnessing right now, I'm almost speechless about it. I knew he was going to be good. But right now, you're seeing this team really evolve forward. Now, defense, I don't know where it is, what the problem is on the run. I still believe that it's not that big, fat guy in the middle, that teams have learned how to run against us, and we're just not getting it there. I'm hoping that we kind of get that together and get better as the rest of the season goes on, but we got work to do on the defense. And what really makes me sick to my stomach is special teams. Our special teams stink. We are put in long drives. We actually have, I think we're second in the NFL for longest drives, sustained drives, which is like 54 yards, something like that. More times than not, it seems like we're starting out on the 15-yard line. And you're going 85 yards. You've seen us have to go 96 yards for scores. And when you keep having to go on these long drives, it's difficult. And the other part of the equation is we can't get takeaways. When was the last time we got a turnover? I can't even remember. Was it the Eagles? There you go, Manuel. I agree with you. I mean, it goes rogue. I think Tony Romo ended up calling a lot of his own numbers and things because the offense was pretty much. Look at the numbers our defense put up in the game. What the hell, bad? Yeah, we didn't give up that many yards. It's just that we couldn't stop them from getting the end zone. And the other part of that equation is, too, we also lost the battle of field position. Because understand, when you give the other team, when they have a kick return that goes across the 50-yard line, if you only have to go 40 yards, that's a lot easier than having to go 80 yards. So that's another one of those things that's got to improve for our team. But right now, you got a quarterback that's hot. You've got receivers that are catching the football. And believe it or not, this is another one of those amazing things. Believe it or not, the Dallas Cowboys lead the NFL in drops. Could you imagine if we weren't leading the league in drop passes? Kind of amazing when you think about it. So we don't have all good news. We got Anthony Brown is now out for the year. Unfortunately, he is banged up, tore up, messed up. God, what is it? It's not a chest muscle. Is it a tricep? He's having surgery, I believe, tomorrow. We used to be proud of our special teams, win or lose. Young Wilson, thank you very much for the super chat. Yeah, but the special teams, they've been kind of special lately, if you know what I mean. We need them to play a lot better than where they are right now. It's never too late to turn things around. I think back to the Colts, where they had basically the 30-second defense going into the playoffs, and they were able to turn it around and kick it up a notch during the play. Torn tricep, that's what it is. And ended up being a lights-out defense. You got some studs that are there. You got some warriors that are in there. It's just now a matter of getting them to be playing all on the same page. Dallas should have been 8-2. I know we're just like this close to being there. It hurts. It hurts that we're not, but it is what it is. So I touched a little bit on Van Der Esch, that I'm concerned that Van Der Esch, maybe it's just a sophomore slump. Maybe it's he came back too soon with the neck injury, but something's not quite right there with him. We also talked about Zeke Elliott, where Zeke doesn't seem to have the burst and he doesn't seem to have the holes. And this is where coaching comes back into play. This is where I talked about how you have to be smarter about how you use them. Todd Gurley made his bread and butter not by running up the middle, but by being a screen pass guy. Volume sounds good, Chief. Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that. Finally got the sound right. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, good. I feel like Garrett will somehow, some way F it up. Little touchdown. Thank you for the super chat. Well, it's possible. It's possible. But I believe we're going to make the playoffs. I believe that the team has enough offensive firepower to overcome the shortcomings right now for the defense and the special teams. And also, too, I got to be honest with you, the Eagles do not scare me right now. They don't. Carson Wentz, they keep trying, all of the talking heads keep trying to baby him, They kept trying to prop him up as the better quarterback, he can put the team on his back. But here's the reality. Over the course of last year and this year, Carson Wentz is 10-11. Now they'll say, oh, well, he doesn't have receivers and his offensive line was hurt. I'm sorry. Carson Wentz, I think, has hit his peak. I honestly believe that he is just kind of, I know somebody's going to take this clip. I know one of you Eagle fans is going to take that. But, I mean, honestly, I have not seen much from Carson Wentz that says that he is that guy that they keep propping up to be. Going into the fourth quarter, he had 97 yards. 97 yards. Now, here it is. They talk about Dak Prescott. He ends up with 250 yards against New Orleans. Dak Prescott's regressed. It seems like the standards for Dak are up here, and for Carson Wentz, they're down here. Don't know why. Don't know why, but it seems. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Keep hope alive, Eagle fans. Keep hope alive. Do I think Donald Wilson plays this year? It's possible. You never know. Jet D, how you doing, man? I sure wanted some of that brisket, man. Damn, I wanted some of that brisket. Show me the money, Jerry Jones. Screwed up by not paying him. Jet D. I said at the beginning of the end of last season, I said, man, listen, you got to hurry up and pay him before Russell Wilson. And people laughed at me. Y'all, you're an idiot, man. Dak, he's a bum, man. Don't pay him. Okay, all right, don't pay him. Don't pay him. Don't pay him. And right now, you got to look at it and say he's an MVP candidate. He is an MVP candidate. What do you think happens if he ends up getting the MVP? Mark Holmes is built like an oil tanker? Come on, man. More like a battleship. Come on. Manuel, no race crap. Don't mess with the Sheriff Joseph Heatherly. I ain't scared. Wait, whoa. Hold up. I ain't scared of no Eagle fans. Play that music again? Oh, you mean Carson went? Oh, I tell you what. This is the kind of thing that's funny to me because I love this kind of stuff.
Sunday night game this weekend. It is a critical game for so many reasons amongst the Eagles and Cowboys, who are both 3-3. Which guy have you got? You got Wentz, you got Dak?
I'll put it like this. Dak Prescott is like your good old Toyota 4Runner. He's steady. You know what you can get from him. He's reliable. Carson Wentz is like that exotic car. Now, that exotic car is going to break down, Greeny. We all know that. But one day you're going to get into a high-speed chase, and you're going to be real mad if you're sitting in a 4Runner. Okay, that's how I put it. Dak Prescott, he's not going to get hurt. He's going to be good old reliable. But Carson can just do some things that Dak Prescott can't do, which is why I would take Carson, because sooner or later you're going to need him.
It's a good analogy because Dak has spent no time in the shop since he came into the league.
I see you, Greeny.
And Carson is there
on a regular.
It feels like far too often. He's actually missed a total of 8 games in his NFL career. D. Wood, which side are you on?
Oh, I'm going Carson Wentz. And I think everyone's going to knock Carson because we always talk about the best ability is availability. I get that. But I know the one thing about Carson Wentz, he can elevate his team. That's what you miss from Dak Prescott. I was at the game last week with the Cowboys and the Jets, and I'm just sitting here waiting. Okay, Dak, I want to just see you elevate with all these different pieces, missing around you. He just doesn't do it on a consistent basis. That's what you get with Carson Wentz.
What do you think of this whole debate, Graziano?
First, I think you're underrating Dak when you're saying 4Runner. I think there's some room between 4Runner and exotic. Right? Like he could be like a nice Mercedes sedan, right?
I feel you. I give you that.
He's a good player, but there isn't much around him right now. And you look at what he's missing. Both starting tackles. And the more you talk to people around that organization, I mean, Tyron Smith, the left tackle, might be their most important player on their team, because when he's not there, the offense just doesn't work. Ezekiel Elliott's not as good a player when he's not there. So I think, Dak Prescott has shown himself to be a good, high-quality NFL quarterback and has, point blank, accomplished more in his career so far than Carson Wentz has. And that's, I'm sure, the crux of his contract negotiations with the Cowboys right now. But I do think, he was sort of born into the NFL in a great situation and has taken advantage of it.
To me, when you look at elite quarterbacks, and I like Dak, I think he's a very good quarterback. Elite quarterbacks can put the team on their back. To Woody's point, when everybody else is struggling, you can carry the team. Well, you look, Dak Prescott, when Ezekiel Elliott only rushes for 75 yards or less, the Cowboys are 1-8. Dak can't really take everybody like a Rodgers can, or Russell Wilson can, or Brady can, and put the whole team on his back.
But we used to say that about Russell. His first couple of years in the league, right?
Oh, it was a
great team because he didn't have to.
He didn't have to.
But now he does.
Yeah,
so
and
perhaps you can get to be that kind of player.
Yeah. It is worth reminding everyone that both Wentz and Dak are still very young players. We've seen so much from them that there's a feeling they've been around a long time. They're still very young players. They're still early in their careers, and there's plenty of room for them to both get better from where they are. The only thing I'll say is I've never heard anyone say on a team that had Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, or Tom Brady that the left tackle was the most important player on the team. So if the left tackle is the most important player on the team, that might tell you everything you need to know about the quarterback.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I have to do a little troll, because somebody just challenged me about saying there better not be any Eagle fans up in the house. I'm so tired, it's not even funny. Carson Wentz! Lucico Sasson! Friends, Mark Holmes, and the Cowboys play, don't keep words. Yeah, man. Philly, you know you're my dog, okay? Philly, you know it's nothing personal, man. It's nothing personal. It's strictly business, man. Strictly business. We're just having a little fun. But here's an amazing thing for you. Shout out to you, Alan Williams. I appreciate you being here. Bobby Ice, Matty B, Ruben Rivera, Jeffrey Gomez, Savage Time, JJ, Starboy. Hey, Starboy, how you doing, man? DJ Cobbs. Yeah, DJ, I'm with you on that. Can you believe it? That I think the memes I put up, I think that they've gone and hide. The cockroaches have left, right? They'll find every excuse to hate on Dak and never Wentz or Goff. It's kind of amazing because, like I said, some of the worst ones, I will admit this, some of the worst ones and hardest ones on Dak Prescott are actually some Cowboy fans. And we know, or alleged Cowboy fans, we know how hard some of you guys are. Because literally, in the first quarter of every game, pretty much everybody's like, bench Dak, get him out of here, he's a bum. And I keep saying, well, wait a minute. Who you going to get? Because I don't think anybody can live up to the standards that some people put out there for our quarterback. I honestly and totally do. And then you have ones that really people are just not that bright. I don't want to put it out there, but some people really either just comment and they look for a reaction or they just don't know. If you look at this team, our Cowboys right now, who would you say is playing the best on this team? I said we got a lot of people that are playing really, really good. I mean, I look at Robert Quinn, 8.5 sacks in 8 games. That's beasting. I look at that, that's great. Now, DeMarcus Lawrence doesn't have the sacks, but he's getting a lot of pressures. He's still playing at a really good level. Michael Bennett, who just got here, he's playing really good. Jalen Smith, he's playing fantastic on the defense. La'el Collins literally turned his career around this year. La'el Collins has been incredible. Tyron Smith, when he's been out there, has still been Tyron Smith. You can look at Travis Frederick and understand that we're not getting the sacks that we had last year, and that's great. But more than anything else, you have to look at, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, those guys are playing great. But more than anybody else, you got to look at where our quarterback has developed, from where he was as a rookie to where he was his second year, the second half, where he regressed, to where he is now. You can look at the parallels of his career with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, as they pointed out, Russell Wilson, he wasn't asked to do a whole lot his first 3 years. They had the best defense in football that took the ball away on a regular. They had beast mode. But after beast mode went, after the defense started getting old, all of a sudden, it's now on Russell Wilson's back. And Russell Wilson has run with it. Well, right now, we can't run the football. And now we're able to put it on Dak Prescott's back now that we have a group of quality receivers. We honestly have a great receiving core. And the great thing about this is, and this is where you look at this, Amari Cooper's got great numbers. But you're looking at the other guys. You know, we got 600 yards here, 700 yards there, 1,000 yards here. You've got all these guys grouped together where it's not just one guy to stop. And the final person that I actually want to touch on, because there was a lot of debate last week because they kept putting out the statistics of Jason Witten. They said Jason Witten has got 2 touchdown passes. He's only got, 2 plays over 20 yards. And then they compared it to Blake Jarwin's numbers, who's had a lot less snaps, but has had more explosive plays. And I agree that he should play more. But understand this, though. This, to me, Thale Wilson, thank you very much. So Jason Garrett is responsible for only losses, not wins? No. But see, the losses are what's killing you. If you make a boneheaded mistake that directly costs the team, who makes that call? Who makes that call? When you ice your own kicker, is that the quarterback? Is that the offensive line? When you say pass the ball more in the second half when you're up 26-3, is that Tony Romo making that call or is that the coach making the call? When you continue to run the football first down with Zeke Elliott, is that the quarterback and Zeke Elliott making the call or is that the coach? Law Nation in the house. But back, since you made me digress, here's to me, which I can't prove it one way or the other, but I believe it to be so. We're not taking the sacks this year that we did last year. To me, it seemed like Dak Prescott kept trying to buy time, and he was looking for something that wasn't there. He kept looking and looking and looking and trying to buy. I know it's there someplace. I know it's there someplace, and then the clock runs out on him and gets sacked. Jason Witten is slow as a turtle. No, that's an insult to turtles. But what he does, though, is exactly where he's going to be, mainly because he can't, run out of the space. If you're saying you're going to be in that area, it takes him five seconds to get to that area, okay? But those 5 and 6 yard catches as opposed to a sack are freaking huge. And if you look at Zeke Elliott's run on the screen, you know who's down there and made the key block in the end there to keep the guy from getting on there? That was Jason Witten. So as you look at Blake Jarwin, who's coming on more and more and more, he's learning from Jason Witten, and that's the best teacher in the world. And he is becoming that security blanket that we need out there as well, and that veteran presence. I don't know that I want to play 62 plays like he did yesterday, but he is an important piece of this puzzle, and I think that's part of the difference for Dak Prescott. And here's the thing, because I know the trolls over here, and you know who you are on Facebook, will say you never give anybody else credit. I understand. Part of the reason why Dak Prescott is, teams are saying we're not going to let Zeke Elliott beat us because they didn't think Dak Prescott could beat him. Well, teams are going to have to change their tune on that. And as they do, what's going to happen is it's going to open up more and more lanes for Zeke Elliott. Understand, The teams aren't putting 8 men in the box all the time now. Now sometimes it's straight up front and sometimes it's on 7-man front. But they're able to get pressure because they've changed what they're doing. They're shooting gaps to go ahead and get ahead of the offensive linemen. And they've gotten to the point where you have to change up to give them a different look. If the Cowboys start using some of the things that they did, just like the direct snap to Tony Pollard, and understand, every time we've used Tony Pollard, we've won. Using Tony Pollard, who looked like he's caught on the outside, but literally stops on a dime, cuts, gives you 2 nickels for change, and keeps on going, which leaves Zeke Elliott not winded. So when he gets in there, he's more and more fresh. These are things that we have to do as a coach to go ahead and keep people on their toes. If I know all I got to do is stop Zeke Elliott, then you're screwed. But right now, you got to worry about stopping Zeke. Damn. I got to worry about stopping Amari Cooper if he's healthy. And if you stop him, shit. Damn, Michael Gallup can go down the field. Oh, crap. And if you happen to get Zeke, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup, now you got to worry about Randall Cobb because he can get you. And if you happen to get all of those guys, if worse comes to worse, you know you can get nickel and dime by Jason Witten. And if they actually ever really and truly have to have it, my quarterback can run, take a hit, and get back up. And as long as the team doesn't hamstring themselves to just running Zeke Elliott, that even though it's not working, you keep going back to it. No. You got studs across the board, and you need to use each and every one of them to keep the damn defenses guessing. You should be Jason Garrett licking your chops. Okay, who am I going to make the star this week? Should I make it Amari Cooper, or should I make it Michael Gallup? Should I go ahead and make it Zeke Elliott? You know? You can do whatever you like with the people that you have. You have more offensive weapons than you've had since, I don't know. I ask you, when have you had this kind of weapons? There is no reason why you do not blow everybody out. Now, we got a tough task this week. We got New England. Now, here's the thing about New England. New England's well coached. New England's never going to beat themselves. But Tom Brady is not the same Tom Brady. All you idiots out there that are saying, oh, we're not going to sign Dak. We're going with Tom Brady. You would be stupid as hell to get a guy that's going to be 43 years old, if that was even a possibility. Because his numbers, they're pedestrian. They stink. Tom Brady right now is in the lower half. He is right now a shell of himself. Over the last 7 games, 7 TDs, 5 interceptions. Against teams with winning record, they're getting like 1 or 2 TDs for their offense total. Our defense has a chance. They have a chance. They have a chance. Okay? Where this battle is going to be won is their defense versus our offense. You got 2 big strengths, and we're going to find out who is the better horse in the race. And this, my friends, is the opportunity, just like New Orleans was last year, to be the launch point for our rocket to the playoffs. If you go out there and you go ahead and bust Tom Brady in the face, because he can't stand to have pressure at his knees. You get Michael Bennett going up there like a crazed dog. You get Robert Quinn out there coming around that edge. You get D-Law hangry going after Tom Brady. Tom Brady will go down. You have the tools to beat this team. And I still say, as good as they say that defense is, when I look at, let me go back to it here. I can't honestly say, with the exception of the Raiders, how many points did Cleveland usually score? What's Cleveland doing? What are the Jets doing usually? What are the Giants doing points-wise? What are the Redskins doing points-wise? What is Buffalo doing points-wise? Miami, Steelers. They ain't exactly played a whole lot of teams with a whole lot of offensive firepower. I challenge you, other than the Ravens, who scored 37 points. Josh Manny in the house, thank you very much for the super chat. Does it? Actually, he does look like he's doing the dance. That's true. He does look like he's doing the dance. But it is 10 o'clock, guys. I know we didn't take any calls tonight, but maybe what we'll do is we'll do maybe in the middle of the week a special call-in show because this is going to be the battle for America with New England and us playing on Sunday night. I can't wait for that one. I'm just so happy that we actually got a victory and have something else to talk about, and how sweet it is to know that the Eagles lost. Brady smells the goat. We're not taking calls tonight, man. We're not taking calls. But let's listen to my quarterback.
But winners worry about winning, and losers worry about winners. So we're focused on ourselves in this locker room about what we need to do to get better each and every phase of this game and be ready.
Oops. I messed that up. Guys. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself.
Every single one of you. I mean, I'm not just talking about these last 60 minutes. I'm talking about the quarterback schools, the mini camp, the off-season, the training camp, down in Austin when it was hot and you were tired, the home bit. Everybody, you did one hell of a job. And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
You know, Terry, I would do the Dak dance, but it might break my hip, man, because my shit's old, man. My shit is old. But I appreciate everybody who came in here tonight and all that. Like I said, it was kind of quiet in here tonight, wasn't it? It was quiet because those Eagle fans didn't man up, did they? See, here's the thing. Like that great philosopher Jimmy Johnson said, if you're going to talk the talk, then walk the walk. And Eagles, I knew you were cockroaches. Because you know what? Win, lose, or draw, I'm always going to be here standing up for my Dallas Cowboys. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate everybody being here. Definitely check out my other channel, Joe Boo's Day Job. Like it if you can. Subscribe to it. I appreciate that, as well as subscribe here. No trolls. This is probably the quietest show I have had in like forever. I kind of miss the Eagle fans, don't you? I kind of miss them. Cry, Eagles, cry. All right, it's time to turn out the lights here, because this party's over.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing.